This video looks at the temporary week 1 basis of tax. In this example, we have an employee, Paul Brown, who starts work with us in week 7 of the tax year. He comes to us with his P45 from his previous employment, which he left in week 4. We're also advised we don't receive his cumulative card from the tax office until week 11. So if I look over here to my right, we look at the plan. Because he comes to us with a P45 from a previous employment, we can put him on a week 1 basis and use the tax credits and cut-offs from that P45 in order to pay him. This is why it's called a temporary week 1 basis, because it's only a temporary measure until we receive his cumulative cert, and that will happen in week 11. So firstly, what we must do is set up a week 1 tax deduction card from him with the tax credits and cut-off points from his P45. So here's my week 1 card with the standard rate cut-off points and the tax credits as per the P45. As a precaution, or as a way to remind me, I put in his gross pay and tax from his previous employment from his P45. They will not form part of these calculations, but they're just there to remind me to transfer them over to the cumulative card. So we pay him €1,000 for each week on a week 1 basis. So €1,000 is his gross pay. Because his cut-off is 82307, that's the amount he can earn at 20%, and the balance, 176.93, is going to be taxed at 40%. When I multiply out the taxes at 20% and 40%, his total gross tax is 235.38. We take away his tax credit, so the tax deducted in this particular week is €140.19, and that's going to be applied from week 7 to 10 of the tax year. So on week 11 we receive his cumulative cert. So I finish with the week 1 card, but I must transfer over his gross pay and his tax to date. So I get that by adding up the gross pay from this employment, which is 4,000, plus the amount from his P45, giving me a total gross pay to date of 6,600. I also add up the tax deducted from this employment plus the tax from his P45, which comes to 658.48. They're the two figures I transfer over to the cumulative card. So what I do is I just slot those two amounts into week 10. Then from week 11 onwards, he's on a cumulative basis. So I put in €1,000, so his gross pay is 7,600. Because this is less than his cut-off, it's all going to be taxable at 20%, giving me 1,520, less his tax credits to date. So the cumulative tax to date is €472.91. I then, in order to get the tax for this week, I look at what was previously deducted. So because it is actually more, I need to actually give him a refund. So in week 11, he will actually be getting a refund of €185.57. The reason he's actually getting a refund is he finished work in week 4. He didn't work in week 5 and 6, and he started with us in week 7. So that effectively is 2 weeks unused tax credits and cut-offs that he is carrying forward with him now on the cumulative system, hence the refund. Then from week 12 onwards, I continue on the cumulative basis, and each subsequent week he has tax deducted of €104.81. Because his earnings is still less than his standard rate cut-off points, at the moment all his earnings to date are going to be taxed at 20%. So just to recap, he came to us in week 7 with a P45. So what we needed to do was put him on a week 1 basis from weeks 7 to 10. This week 1 basis was based on the tax credits from his P45. We also inserted the previous gross pay and PAYE figures from his P45 onto the week 1 card. And then in week 11 we transferred all his earnings from this employment and the previous employment over to the cumulative card and applied the cumulative basis. Thank you.